Welcome, I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Tuesday edition of Rasaji Speaks. So happy you can be with us today. Don't forget, we got teachers training at 1 o'clock Eastern today, and also Master David's nightly class that's 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. And for you guys on the Pacific Rim, it's at 8. Okay, so I'm excited to be with you today. It's a great day. Let's look at the subject matter for the day. Weak mind and the downfall of Eden. Weak mind and the downfall of Eden. I remember Malcolm X says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Well, this atmosphere behind me is not always today looked as the best. It's changing a little bit since 47's got in there and making some adjustments, cleaning things up. But it sure stood for something 200 or 300 years ago as it was being built. It stood for a country that stand on principles and stand on purpose, you know. Inalienable rights, right, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, things, qualities of this nature, right? When Eden consciousness started to turn down, the mindset began to shift. Remember, they left the tree of life, to pursue the tree of knowledge and of good and evil, right? In the tree of life, that's where God is. It's like saying, where is God? He's in the presence. And where that presence is, there's where the tree of life is. We're looking into properties to purchase over the next couple of years. And one of the reasons we're doing that is we want people to connect to the land. It's a real grounding kind of thing when you connect to the land. We already have several people in our group that's been farming and ranching and doing things like that for a long time. I grew up on a ranch and I uh, worked around farm and ranch line when my dad had one and I was in high school. It was always a really cool thing. Farmers of the world are spiritual aristocrats when you think about it, right? Because where they work, the people in the world that bust their butt every day to take a vacation usually want to go spend a week or two where they work at in those kind of places outside in beautiful nature. Think about it, right? Most of the day, people spend their time behind some either TV tube or some laptop computer or some desktop computer or crunching on some smartphone or iPhone or Android phone. I mean, it's kind of crazy. That's pretty much the way most people today run their life. Or here they're arguing in Congress or in the Senate or in the White House. People don't think today about values, good wholesome values that most of us grew up with. If your parents were born like in the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, you probably had a good chance of being raised pretty good. That means you came up in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and it was a real different time than it is today. You didn't have the temptations today of a cell phone, of a laptop, of an internet. You didn't have all that stuff. Thank God that we didn't have. I mean, I was ADT growing up. I had dyslexia tendencies. Lord knows that would have been a mess for me, for all the time. Thank God I wanted to spend about 30% of my time out in nature. Either I was playing baseball or I was playing football or I was swimming, everything like that. I didn't start to even go inside much until I started to do a little bit of dancing and a little bit of martial arts. And as I began to pursue those arts, most of the time that was inside. But for the better part of my young childhood and my early teenage years, I spent 30 to 40% of my time outside, riding horses, doing all kind of nifty things. Always wanted to get that bag. And it took me years to realize how powerful it was to interact with nature. And, all the avatars, when they got ready to start their ministry, before they did so, whether it was Jesus, whether it was Buddha or Kuan Yin or Mother Mary or Lao Tzu, or they would spend time in nature. When it came time to charge that battery, and they had to leave the ministry for a while and do some downtime, where did they go? Usually they went back to nature. So nature supports this Edenic consciousness, this consciousness that we're one with the land. One of the things that pissed the Native American Indians off the most when the white man and the black man and the Asian man came to America was they didn't know about that connection to the land. They didn't know why the Native American Indians looked to Mother Earth and pretty much worshiped her. And as they began to see us taking property over and over with no respect for the wholesomeness of land, no wonder they got their panties in a bunchie. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes sense. They knew something that we would not learn for a couple of centuries. That's right. It would take most of us a couple of centuries before we would get conscious level enough to know what the Native American Indians already knew. So we're going to bring back that Eden state of consciousness. Chime in on the comments if you're excited about embracing the Edenic consciousness. And if you're home gardening and stuff, what are you doing? Right? If you're raising animals and human beings, what are you doing? Where are you doing it at? Let them know. Chime in how excited you are. We're looking, and I'm talking right now with the first 200 acres of farm and ranch land that I want to get for PFL and COC. And I'm so excited. My brother Truth Matters, man. Oh, man, he's like ecstatic. So let's bring back the Eden conscience together. Let's respect the mothers. Let's be good stewards of the earth. And let's return back to the tree of life, back to the omnipresence of the divine. As we say in the East, Baraka Busha. May the blessings be to you and your glorious family. See you tomorrow on Hump Day. God bless.